Troy Church family, very excited to give you a very important update announcement on what it looks like for us to gather as a church. As you've probably heard, a little bit lighter restrictions on us, so we want to talk with you about just some new things that we're going to be able to enter into as a church family together. First, foremost, we will not be heading back to the high school just yet. Primary reason being that under the restrictions that will still be in place, it'd be very difficult for us to safely offer Troy kids. And I don't know about y'all, but just considering our little kids and what that would look like to get them ready and try to sit them still during church just probably wouldn't work out too well. And considering just the how our church looks like age-wise, just don't feel like it's quite time to enter back into that yet. Second thing I want to assure you of is those of you that might be at risk or just don't feel like it's time to head out of the house just yet, we will still be posting worship. It'll be a little bit different this week in that we film it ahead of time, but we will still be posting it at 10 a.m. on Sunday. You still will have access as you have had the past few weeks if you don't feel like venturing out of your home just yet. But with that, I want to introduce to you Mr. George Bertram. You know him from a couple weeks ago, being affirmed as a new elder of Troy Church. But George and Kristen are not new to Troy Church, been serving and loving on the church for a long time. One of their roles, and a role that they still operate in, is over our small group leaders and small group ministry. And in that, I'm going to turn over to George and let him tell you about some options on gathering through our small group ministry. So George, what you got?
So some of the options that we have, if you'll remember when COVID first took over our nation, our world, as a church we decided that we could meet in small groups in our home, and some of your small groups actually met together on Sunday morning and watched the service together, and I think we want to try to go back to that model. So small group leaders will be reaching out to you this week. Hopefully no later than Wednesday, your small group leader will have reached out to you to see about coming to their home on Sunday morning and worshiping together, watching the service together, and then going through discussion questions together after service. Now I know we have talked to most all of the small group leaders, and they are open to opening up their homes to their groups if y'all so chose to go. Like Zach said, there may be some of you who just don't feel comfortable getting into a big group yet or not. That's fine. We will still have the streaming option available, the video service available. But for those of you who do feel comfortable enough to do it and who are tired of looking at the same people day in and day out, here's an option for you to look at some other people that you know and love, but you might not have seen in a while. We don't know exactly how it's going to look, especially with kids, but I'm going to throw it back to Zach, and he's going to explain to us how all your kids can probably go to his house on Sunday mornings for the time being.
Not quite. So I had a really cool conversation with Leslie Parrish. So she is our Troy Kids team lead. So what we're envisioning is different groups at different homes will have different breakdowns of kids. This first week is going to be just kind of strictly data collecting for us. So we're going to reach out to these folks that are hosting groups in their homes and kind of figure out who's there and what ages the kids are. What Leslie's going to do is help us come out with some resources to provide at those different groups to create an environment where the adults can still interact and worship together, kids can play together and have fun, but we see us just sharing that load together, that responsibility together as a church family, whether they're our kids or somebody else's kids, just what it looks like for us in just a small gathering setting to just share the load of loving on kids together and letting them be a part as much as possible, but also seeing them in the backyard while moms and dads are inside worshiping as well. So this is new for us. It's going to be a lot of trial and error, but something we're committed to, and we honestly are really excited about. We're excited about what God might do these next 3 weeks in teaching us what it looks like to go back to what is the roots kind of for Troy Church in a church that started out in a living room. So we're excited. Want to leave you one more thing. You might not be a part of a small group at all, or you might be a part of a small group and live around a bunch of Troy Church folks or a bunch of neighbors that aren't a part of any church at all. We encourage you to feel complete freedom and liberty to kick off your own gatherings. Feel freedom to do that. Even if you're in a small group and your leader reaches out and you'd rather say, hey, I'm going to reach out to my neighbor and host them in my home instead, or break up into the smaller group, or we're going to reach out to some folks across town that we know we've been hanging out with a lot in this anyway. feel at freedom to do that. It'll actually help us out to spread our being together out as far and wide as possible. So don't feel like you have to wait on us or be assigned somewhere. Just be at freedom to gather in safe, responsible ways. Just a couple things to leave you with. Be smart about this. If you're sick, stay home. If you are at risk, weigh the risk. Keep groups small. Try to respect these guidelines that our leaders have led us very well in. But we are excited for the next few weeks and what God might do through us easing in cautiously to gathering again together. Let's continue to trust God, be the church, love each other, love on our city, and we will see you this Sunday one way or another at 10 a.m.